So first of all, I'm just gonna opening as a quote. Share a little bit about Japan and Japan's basic real estate information. Let me share my slide. Okay, so can you see my slide?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. First of all, I think many of you, Japan is farther east near Korea or China. And as you see the map, the Japan is very small. The US is 21 times of the Japanese total land. This looks like Japan total land and California, which my state, California is larger than Japan. But as you see, the Japan stretched to the north to the south. So the northern area is almost a Chicago weather. And the southern area is almost Mexico. The small island is Okinawa is about almost in the central of the Mexico. So which means the very different weather and which related to the structure or the house type of house or like insulation or something. Today, I think Alisa will introduce today's speaker. Uh, the one came from Tokyo, and then the other gentleman came from Hokkaido. So we are very looking forward to the interesting story for each region, how the real estate there. Also, I would like to say the basic Japan's economy still very much large economy and third largest in the world. And then, however, the small land cannot produce so many products. So the Japan depend the import. So they are very concerned about the tariff right now. They are still working on it, and then I think, still good economy keep going. Population has declined. So I think maybe about 10 years ago, the population was hit to the top, about the 1.2, I'm sorry, 120 million population, but it became to be declining right now. So that caused the vacancy issue in the rural area, but still the city area has a more condensity. Many people are going to the city, especially for the metropolitan area, Tokyo, Osaka area. And then the real estate price is also increasing for those areas. However, the vacancy factor in the issue is existing in the rural area. Of course, the price for the real estate is declining as well. I think maybe more speaker will give us more details later. And then characteristics of Japanese. So they are all diligent for working or education, and everybody is very punctual, including the train station and train timetable is very punctual. Punctual. If you have a chance to go to Japan, all the train is coming every 2 or 3 minutes, and very punctual, and then very polite, respectful for people, and humble and shy. That means if you have a Japanese client, they're punctual. That means they expect you to be a punctual. So I think we need to be careful to take care of our Japanese client. And also humble and shy, in another word, sometimes they said yes, but it's not yes. Sometimes no, but they are too humble. So we need to be a great communication with the Japanese people. But once you have a trust to each other, they are very diligent and then work very smoothly. And then I love all the Japanese clients. So then the real estate in Japan, basically, I've heard the home ownership ratio is more than 60%. This is almost similar with US. However, the new construction is larger than the resale. The US real estate resale is maybe like 85%, sometimes 90%. New construction is only 10 to 15%. But in Japan, it's opposite. When I was working in Japan about 20 years ago, almost new construction has been dominated and 80%. But I've heard from the real estate people recently, maybe dropping down for the new construction because of the population is decreasing. So currently, I assume the new construction ratio should be maybe about a 60%, and then the resale is 40%. Still, larger part of the property is new construction, including the new house or the condominium. Also, the taxation is very different, especially for the depreciation. So from the point of view of the tax value, the 25 years old home are the no tax value, which means housing portion is zero value. So maybe it's a little bit different. US is still keep couple uh, amount of the depreciation we can do whenever we purchase a property for the investment. And then the size of the house is very small. The average of the Tokyo's house or home is 700 square feet, which means no one bedroom studio. This is three bedroom for with 700 square feet. Maybe a little bit different for each properties, but the average is very small. We need to think about because Japan is a small one, and then there's so much people living there. So that is my basic information and instruction. So I will pass the mic back to Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that insightful information. So we've got a few questions that we would like to be able to ask, and whoever would like to chime in, we're certainly more than happy to hear your answers. And so you have answered some of this with your presentation and your slides, but speaking of sales and other things, what key trends are you seeing right now in Japan that maybe
Well,
would be of interest? Key trends in real estate?
I'm not a practitioner in Japan. So as a global ambassador, and I've heard from the practitioner from Japan, I think the Tokyo's market, maybe the Mayumi will present, is very much hot because the economy is good, and then currently so many tourists came back after the COVID happened. So many people is seeking for the nice, good areas condo, which is good managing. It's easy to manage, and then I think that is a very hot trend. I believe, and also the as I mentioned, the vacancy issue happened in the rural area, so it's very difficult to find out a good property in the rural area. But we cannot believe it's very great price range. I don't think Masaki will present for his resort area. Area is totally different. So resort area is great turn out for the as an investment purpose, but the rural area sometimes one of my American friend, purchased a property in the rural area with $150,000 with five or six bedrooms, and sometimes a condo in the rural area, it's about maybe $30,000 or something. So it's a very much different variety of the price in the rural area. So if you are trying to find out a very lower price, maybe you can try with, but the key is you need to find out a good partner as in a real estate, trustworthy, because the American people don't know the rules or the market so much. So I think a key is find a good real estate partner. That's my answer.
100%. Thank you so much. So, Arisa, we will turn the attention to you right now, our Deputy Secretary General of the International Exchange Division for Jericho. Thank you, Arisa.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and good morning from Japan. My name is Arisa Honma from Jericho. First of all, I would like to thank Ohio Realtors for a great relationship and having this webinar today. Today, I would like to introduce about Jericho, what we do, and also introduce two amazing Jericho members who will talk about Japanese real estate market. So first of all, a little bit about Jericho. It stands for Japan America Real Estate Coalition Office. We were established in 2013, and we collaborate with NAR and its partners around the world to network, research, and provide education such as CIPS and ABR. So here are some of the main activities that Jericho provides. We do international exchange, research, and education. And for the international exchange, we have homestay programs with Seattle King County Realtors. We send Japanese agents to realtors' home, and they stay at their home, spend time together, go to their office, showings, escrow, so on, where Japanese realtors can experience how it is in the US. And also we conduct tours to the NAR NXT every year. We bring about 20 delegates from Japan to the US each year. And we are planning on attending as well this year in Houston. Also, we send a newsletter about US real estate market updates. Also, I and Hiroko do YouTube, and Hiroko explains about real estate market once or twice a month. Also, we host NL ambassadors and leadership team to Japan. We had President of NAR, Mr. Kevin Sears, came in Japan this last June. And we have some other industry associations delegates coming from all over the world. So we had delegates from Singapore. We have Seattle King County Realtors coming to Japan. We have Mongolian Realtors coming to Japan this year. So we host other realtors from the world and have some lectures about Japanese real estate market as well as have property tour. And also we do Jericho Women's Committee. For the research, we do study group sessions, seminars, lectures, and so on. And for the education, we provide CIPS and ABR. And we have our original course that teaches US real estate investment. So here is some of the photos I have from Jericho conference this year. Theme was opportunities in Japan, and we had Kevin Sears came to attend in person. We also had delegates from Myanmar, and we signed MOU then. We had about over 100 people attend this event. And this is from last year. We visited our MOU partners, Mongolia Real Estate Association. So we do a lot of exchange with other countries as well. I hope we can bring some of our members to Ohio too one day. And this is from Seattle Homestay Program. These photos are from last year, but we also did this year. And last year we went to Malaysia to attend International Real Estate Conference. And in November, we go to NAR NXT. And this year, probably we will bring about 20 people. So yeah, here is what we do. And today we have our Jericho member, Miss Mayumi Morita from Keller Williams, Tokyo, and Mr. Masaki Keno from All About Flannel. They will talk about their market. They're really professionals and they deal with a lot of inbound transactions. So I hope you will learn a lot from Japanese market. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, Mayumi,
Yes.
you are up next, and we are excited to hear from you, our, again, Keller Williams representative from Tokyo. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Nice to meet you, everyone. Good evening. It's 8:20 in the morning here in Tokyo. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. Let me try to share my screen. So first of all, good evening, everyone. My name is Mayumi. It's pronounced my, you, me. That's an easy way to kind of remember it. I grew up in Seattle for about 12 years when I was very little. So I have very fond memories of the US. Currently, I'm based in central Tokyo, working as a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams Tokyo. My expertise is in the top neighborhoods of Minato Ward, which is the most highly sought after market here in Tokyo. So I'm very super excited to share an overview on the real estate market here. May I ask if any of you have ever visited Japan before from Ohio?
I have, yes.
Yes, you have. Okay. Oh, great. So let's start with a quick overview of Japan, since many of the others have not visited there. And I apologize if some of the content is very similar to Hiroko-san's. So again, I'm starting with an illustration of Japan and the US, just to compare the size. So you can see that Japan is comprised of 4 main islands, and altogether the size is approximately equivalent to that of California. But as Hiroko also mentioned, due to its vertical geography and being surrounded by the ocean, we are known for having 4 distinct seasons, and the climate can change dramatically depending on your location and the season. So now that we saw the size of Japan compared to the US, let's take a look at a quick overview of the country. It is the 3rd largest economy in the world, known for mainly automobiles and electronics, and lately, with the younger generation, anime, Pokemon, but it's also known for its rich culture, such as the old tea ceremonies, kabukis, and often the well-visited 1,000-year-old shrines and temples all over Japan. The numbers of tourists have been growing. It's already surpassed pre-COVID figures. Last year's annual increase was 20% over 2023, and this year's increase is being expected at 28% more than last year. So many visitors are now repeated visitors, and that used to be only from mostly Asia. So a lot of Chinese, Hong Kong, Singaporean, Malaysian, Thai, and some Australia used to be repeat visitors to Japan. But these past few years, we're seeing many more visitors repeatedly coming to Japan from Europe and the US. And that could be because, as Hiroko-san mentioned, it is a very safe country. We do not have guns in Japan, and everything is efficient and very reliable and clean. On every mornings on the streets, you can see store owners starting their day by cleaning the streets in front of their shops. So that's how Japan has always been kept very clean. And as mentioned before, we do have a declining population and a very aging population now. 30% of the population is older than 65. Most of the elderly live in rural areas of Japan, and the younger population tend to move to Tokyo for jobs. So now this is a map of Japan alone, and you can see where Tokyo lies. It is in the center of Japan along the Pacific Ocean, and you can see that the country is comprised of 47 prefectures. So prefectures are similar to the states in the US, but the law is the same throughout all the 47 prefectures. And now we're zooming into a map of Tokyo and the surrounding Kanto area with 6 other prefectures. On the table, you can see that Tokyo is approximately 75 kilometers wide, and 25 kilometers is approximately 15 miles. So you can see that Tokyo stretched out from left to right or east to west is approximately 45 miles. And towards the right of Tokyo is the Narita Airport, and on the tip of Tokyo near the Tokyo Bay is where the Haneda Airport is. And this airport is much closer to the city, just 20 or 30 minutes away by taxi. When we usually refer to the term Tokyo, normally we speak of the 23 wards, which is highlighted in light green towards the right. Now, each wards have pockets of neighborhoods and appeal to different buyers and different residents. So I think Jennifer, having visited Tokyo, may have realized that each area has a different vibe, different color, different mixture of people who frequently visit those areas.
For sure.
And in this map, you can see that number 11 is the largest ward, and it's called Setagaya, and it's known for having generously sized detached homes in a residential setting. And it's noted that Setagaya has a population of over 939,000 people, which is actually almost the same population as Columbus City, Ohio, I believe. And now this map shows the same map as a previous page, but highlighting a Yamanote train line in green. And this is a famous train line which circles around central Tokyo. The loop is approximately 21 miles, and one circle takes about 60 minutes by the Yamanote train line. So generally speaking, property prices within the loop are higher than those outside of the loop. And the most expensive ward is Minato-ku, which is number 5 on this map. This is where neighborhoods such as Roppongi, Akasaka, and Toranomon are located. And why it's most sought after and expensive is because there has been some major developers that have been redeveloping some of these areas over the past 40 years to create a beautifully landscaped urban oasis in the center of the city. So this is just to give you an example of what Tokyo looks like. This is the view from the 52nd floor observation deck in Roppongi Hills, facing towards the Tokyo Bay. So Haneda Airport cannot be seen here, but it's towards the right. This area is part of the Minato Ward, where many global firms have their headquarters and embassies are located, including the United States. There are many high-rise office buildings, as you can see, and high-rise condos mixed among these offices. And then this photo was also taken from the same observation deck facing west towards Mount Fuji. You can see a glimpse of it towards the left, and towards the right is the highway between Roppongi and Shibuya. The distance is probably just not even 2 miles from Roppongi to Shibuya, but you can see that it's just endlessly densely populated all the way out for many, many more miles. And this is only a small area of central Tokyo. And here is a sample picture of a subway map of Tokyo. Most Tokyo residents do not necessarily own cars. It's not necessary just because the subway system and the train system is so vast. Property prices are generally higher the closer they are to a station. A good benchmark when looking for a property is to be within a 10-minute walking distance from a station. And most properties are listed showing minutes to stations being a major key factor. So for example, 1 minute is calculated at 80 meters or roughly 87 yards per minute, which means a 10-minute walk to a station will be half a mile. So most people in Tokyo will easily walk a minimum of a mile every day just to commute to the station and then start their journey to their offices. And now that we saw how large Tokyo is, we can understand that it is the largest metropolitan area globally, with a population of 37 million in the metro area and 14 million living in the city. The vast public transit system means there's a wide selection of neighborhoods to choose from. Please note that the previous map only showed subways. We also have extensive trains running out of hub stations, such as Shinjuku and Shibuya. So this means that most office workers commute between 45 minutes and sometimes up to 90 minutes each day, door to door, just to go to their offices. Headquarters for global firms, for finance and tech are all in Tokyo. Most manufacturing firms are not necessarily headquartered in Tokyo. They're scattered all around Japan. But Tokyo is by far the largest city in Japan, and the GDP is again comparable to California's. Now let's look at Tokyo's residential market. There's very limited land for new construction left. Domestic buyers and foreign buyers have been increasingly buying in central Tokyo. In Tokyo, condos are generally preferred over detached homes, and that's due to its proximity to the business districts. So this means less commuting time, and those with means will prefer to live closer to the amenities and conveniences of living in the center of the city. Condo prices have been up 70% since 2014, over the past 10 years in the 23 wards. Now, if we narrow this down to the most expensive Minato ward, it is actually up over 300% and 30% alone during 2024. So the market is very hot, and due to the high cost of owning in central Tokyo, the home ownership in Metro Tokyo is 65%, but central Tokyo is much lower at 41%. And I just made a fun chart just to make a comparison between central Tokyo, including all 23 wards, and Columbus City. So this chart, you can see on the left, the average home price in Tokyo. So Tokyo is using the average new condo price for 2024. It was approximately $760,000 for the size of 62 square meters, which is 670 square feet. So the newer buildings are becoming even smaller now because of the scarcity of land. So what are the investment drivers? In Japan, especially in large cities such as Tokyo, real estate has been viewed as a safe haven because of the ultra low interest rates, sometimes almost zero, and the strong legal protections make property a stable, low-risk asset. The limited land supply and steady demand in Tokyo further preserves capital, even as other investments yield little. And recently, mostly due to the weak yen, it is a bargain for foreign investors compared to other global cities such as New York, London, Hong Kong, and Singapore. So compared to when the yen was 100 yen per dollar just a few years ago, it is now currently at 147 yen per dollar. So that makes Tokyo prices at a discount of nearly 30% for US dollar and mostly euro holders. So can foreigners own property in Japan? Yes, absolutely. There are actually no restrictions whether you are a resident or not, or whatever nationality, and the conditions are the same as for Japanese citizens. However, if you do not live in Japan, assume you need to purchase by cash. Japanese banks require residency or a stable income, and sometimes a credit history of up to 3 years will be viewed for mortgage. The buying process may seem similar to the US, but the biggest difference is the lack of a platform equivalent to something like Zillow. So you will need to rely on a bilingual agent to assist you in searching for property, as the Japanese platforms can be very confusing, lacking detailed information, and the same property could be listed by multiple random agents and not necessarily the actual seller's agent. So you'll be very confused as to who to contact or whether it's the same property or different properties, because one same property could be listed but may appear different on some platforms in Japan. Also note that an escrow is not yet widely used, and it is very common to pay the deposit and the outstanding balance directly to the seller. So this safety ensured with the help of a judicial scrivener, and a judicial scrivener is similar to a notary or lawyer in other countries. But you should also make sure that your agent will assist you in arranging a bilingual scrivener as well. The buyer does not necessarily need to be present in Japan upon closing or contract day. It can be handled by giving power of attorney to a scrivener or lawyer, or even a friend in Japan. Now, what should you expect as a total transaction cost when purchasing property in Japan? As a general rule of thumb, allow 6 to 8% of the property price to pay for the noted fees. So the fees are the same as the Japanese. The most notable one and clear one is the 3% brokerage fees. So in Japan, the fee structure has always been separate. The seller pays his agent 3%, and the buyer pays his agent 3%. It's very clear and simple. To be accurate, it is 3% plus 60,000 yen and the consumption tax, which is Japan's version of GST, and currently at 10%. As a non-yen based foreign buyer, one risk to keep in mind is a currency exchange rate. Fluctuations obviously cannot be predicted, and rates could vary depending on the timing of exchanging. Now, another point to note is not being able to open a bank account. So purchasing a property alone in Japan will not grant you the right to open a bank account. So most foreign clients who purchase in Japan will purchase a condo, which means that there are monthly dues, monthly HOA fees due. And most of these payments for monthly HO fees are usually required to be automatically withdrawn each month from a Japanese bank account. And since most foreign buyers do not have that Japanese bank account, they will need assistance from their agent's brokerage firm to set up a property management account for this purpose. Now let's go over some key differences from the US market. Japanese have historically preferred new construction over existing homes. And that could be because the concept of upgrading or renovating the home was non-existent until recent years, which added to the attractiveness of buying a new construction over a tired-looking existing home. And the reason for that is also because most Japanese move much less than those in the US, meaning once they purchase a home, the intent is to live there forever. Now in Tokyo, condos are favored over detached homes. And the reason being condos are generally built closer, again, to central business districts, which means less commuting time. And if you have been to Tokyo and experienced the rush hour commute, you will realize how it's very notorious. Sometimes you have to be squished in to make a certain train. So most couples who are now working together without children would prefer to live closer to the city instead of living in a larger detached home outside where you need to endure that long, challenging commute to work every day. So it's very different from the US, where each person has their own space and their own car to commute comfortably. Another big difference to note is the way real estate agents have been working in Japan. So in Japan, historically, the brokerage firms have been subsidiaries of the major developers. So there are maybe 4 or 5 top developers, and they have their large subsidiary brokerage firms nationwide. So when most Japanese decide to look for a property, they will look on a platform called, well, lately, they will look on a platform called Sumo. And they would just call whoever listed it on Sumo. And like I mentioned earlier, that may not be the listing agent. But whatever agent company who picks up the phone is going to be your agent. It's not going to be someone necessarily experienced or versed in the neighborhood that your target property is located in. And remember that in Japan, most brokerage firms are salaried men. So they are hired usually straight out of college, and they work until retirement. And so they also commute maybe 30 minutes or an hour away to those offices. So they may be professionally acquainted with some of the neighbors and the listings that their company handles, but they will not be local agents like those in the US. Now, on a few pages before, we went over the fact that a buyer will not be able to obtain information on properties using tools like Zillow in Japan. For us agents, we have access to a system called RAINS. Now, RAINS stands for Real Estate Information Network System. The Japanese like to use English alphabets to summarize something new to make it sound more Western. So this is a nationwide database for listings. However, the catch is that the listing agent is not always required to list on REINs. And in fact, many sellers prefer not to have their properties listed on REINs or not even advertised for sale. And this is due to the Japanese culture, where many prefer to keep their business private. And also, I mentioned that many Japanese, when they purchase homes, their original intent is to live there forever. So to move from there, until recently, had been more of a stigma, as if, is there a negative reason you need to let go of your house and move? So many actually do prefer not to have their homes advertised or known as being sold to their neighbors. So that means that REINs does not show all of the listings. There are a lot of private pocket listings. And so in order to obtain information for certain neighborhoods, you need to be an agent needs to be very well connected with the other agents who work in that same neighborhood. And due to the fact that REINs does not require reporting of sold properties, it is estimated that only about 1 in 7 to 1 in 8 transactions are officially reported as sold. So you can try to request for a CMA report from an agent in Japan, but it will not be accurate due to the lack of data. Now, surprisingly, not all agents are licensed in Japan. By regulation, only 1 out of 5 at each brokerage firm is required to be licensed. And why is this? You may be surprised to hear that the exam for the license is only carried out once each year, and the passing rate is between 15 to 18%. So they make it very challenging and difficult to pass. There are many very successful agents, yet are not licensed. And if you are not licensed, you're not able to carry out the entire transaction. So somebody else will need to create the disclosure document, and unless you're licensed, you will not be able to explain the disclosure documents to your client. Another question often asked is, can foreigners purchase properties as second homes and rent out between their visits for short-term rentals? In Tokyo, at least, most condominiums, their HOAs, have banned short-term rentals, so you will not be able to most likely find a nice condo which also allows short-term rentals. You would need to purchase a detached home or perhaps an older apartment without regulations against short-term rentals. And also to note is that owning real estate does not grant you a residency in Japan or a visa. Lastly, currently foreigners can buy freely and own land and buildings in Japan. One thing to make sure is to look for homes built after 1981. These are built after the current seismic standards, so they're considered to be much safer. Obviously, there are some very high quality low rises that were built before 1981 and are just as safe, but it is a good benchmark to keep an eye out for when looking for properties. Partnering with a bilingual licensed agent is essential, as only licensed agents can handle transactions and will provide a seamless process with you and give you the legal disclosure document. So you would think that the legal disclosure document is also required in Japan, but it's actually not required. So you must be very careful that you do work with a licensed agent. please remember that rural homes and akiyas may appear cheaper, but often depreciate and can be hard to resell due to depopulation. I'm not sure if akiya is a common term now in the States. It stands for abandoned homes in rural suburban Japan. There are many abandoned homes now because of the aging population and because of the low birth rate. Many children who inherit their parents' homes do not need it to live there anymore because they already live in bigger cities. But they don't sell it because their family has been living there for many years, sometimes many generations. And Japanese tend to have accumulated many belongings, especially those who lost everything during the war. So the younger generation who's inherited those properties just cannot take time off from their work and commit to clearing out the house and putting it up on the market. So there are a lot of abandoned homes that could be inhabited, but the children who has inherited are just not ready yet to let go. And the property taxes in those areas are quite minimal. So they would rather continue paying the property taxes instead of clearing it out and selling it. Let's see. Other popular cities other than Tokyo include Osaka and Kyoto, and the resort areas in Okinawa and Hokkaido. So Hokkaido is home to Niseko and Furano. And now I would like to pass over the screen to Masaki-san, who will introduce you to the ski resorts in Hokkaido. I hope many of you are interested in visiting Tokyo, and I look forward to answering any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, fascinating information.
Mm.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Great. So I'm Masaki from Hokkaido, Japan, the most northern part of Japan. I'm going to introduce the popular resort destination of this island in Japan. Let me share my screen. Please wait a moment. Okay, I will try to actually give the best introduction of this island. Okay, today I will introduce Hokkaido Island, one of the most popular destinations among the international travelers and the world-class skiers and snowboarders. So before moving on, I'd like to tell you that I have only perhaps around 20 minutes, right? Jennifer-san, how much time I can have in here?
I believe that we've got a half an hour left. Is that correct, Veronica?
Yes, ma'am. So if we do this, if you have 20 minutes, that leaves us 10 minutes for Q&A.
Yes, sir.
Right. Noted. Oh, okay. So I will make it quick, but if I miss telling you something, please actually contact me anytime. I'll be available for online meeting request. If you get interested to digging further more about what is going on for the ski resorts in Japan. So please do not hesitate to contact me at all, even after this online session. Excuse me. Okay, so just a bit of myself to be self-introduced before moving on quickly. My name is Masaki. So probably it sounds similar for you to remember as Masaki. So Masaki is someone call me Masaki, some friends of mine from Australia. Well, I'm born and raised in Furano Resort in Hokkaido. I'm a realtor with CIPS, ABR, and CPM designations, helping international clients invest in Japan, running a real estate broker, and providing property investment services in this small town called Furano, blessed with powder snow and lavender flowers. I actually also am taking care of some off-market properties throughout the major cities and resorts in Japan. All right. So Hokkaido is located at the most northern part of Japan, as you see the circle over there of Japan map, easily accessible by domestic flights from Japan's major cities. So 1.5 hours from Tokyo and 2 hours from Osaka. Around 60 flights per day connect to Tokyo and Hokkaido, and around 25 flights per day connect Osaka and Hokkaido. So reaching the ski resorts of Hokkaido is perhaps a little bit easier and faster than you think. So Hokkaido is a huge island with around 83,000 square kilometers, perhaps more familiar to tell you 32,000 square miles, which is actually 22% of the whole land area of Japan. Perhaps it sounds more familiar in this way of saying to you, Hokkaido is slightly smaller than the state of Indiana and roughly one-fifth the size of California. The population of Hokkaido is around 5 million people. The numbers of visitors of this popular island is around 7 million people per year from outside of the island. The major city Sapporo here at the Black Calapin has around 2 million people living, and the world-class ski resort known as Niseko is located in the west side of Hokkaido, and the Furano Resort is located in the middle of the island. Now, I will start talking about the Niseko Resort at first, which is well known among international skiers and snowboarders, powder snow lovers. It has been developed well by lots of international development companies and funds, as well as some Japanese listed companies. So Niseko basics are here. So Niseko is located right here at the blue color pin just now, coming down from, above. It can be accessed easily from the airports and the city area, around 2 hours driving from Shin-Chitose Airport and 1.5 hours driving from Sapporo City. So Niseko area has two towns, Kuchan Town and Niseko Town. That comes to the total of 20,000 local people living, welcomes 2 million visitors annually around, and 500,000 visitors. Among those 2 million visitors are staying overnight in these areas. And among 500,000 staying guests, around 130,000 guests are from foreign countries. So this chart shows the trend in the number of foreign guests staying in Kuchan, Niseko. It shows it has not reached really to the maximum numbers back in the year 2018 before COVID, but it will be shortly after 2023. Well, this chart shows the trend in the total numbers of now the overnight stays by foreign visitors in Niseko. So the total number staying nights by foreigner already exceeds the numbers before COVID time. So really, recovered. So Niseko has several ski zones and all areas are now popular for the property investment. Niseko has an average snowfall amount of 12 meters in a season. So snow covers the cars easily just by an overnight snowfall like this. 4 different ski zones and more ski resorts actually are close by as well. So it is a great mix of different types of ski experience with good powder snow with easy access from the town. Niseko is now a world-famous ski resort, shaped and developed well by companies with a strong sense of global marketing. Now owning properties in Niseko shows some sort of the status, especially among the Southeast Asian country individuals and companies. Good brand hotels have been built in this area, and also coming up more, such as the Ritz-Carlton, Amman, Hirafu Niseko, on the right-hand side picture, I think on the right-hand side from you. This area is filled with holiday hotels, apartments, and chalets, as you can see, with all the actually houses. All those are holiday houses and apartments nearby the ski slopes. These situations make having the properties in Niseko becomes as if like having blank back to get the social status, with those hotel brands. And another thing, this is just a picture of the center of Hirafuzaka Street. Some properties available for sale is priced at over 4 million Japanese yen per tsubo. Probably that doesn't sound familiar for you, so I'll change to the US dollar. So around 750 US dollars per square feet is probably comparable to prime real estate prices in even Manhattan or San Francisco. So Niseko has already established itself as an international ski resort, but it remains highly competitive among businesses and continues to grow steadily. The area offers a wide range of services, including accommodation, dining, skiing, and real estate, with service content undergoing revolutionary updates and improvements every year. The photo on the left shows the Miss Niseko event held at a bar in Niseko. There is now also Mr. Niseko event as well, if you're interested in that better. Well, they even prepare special outfits for this event, coming up all the way from, like Australia and some other, continents. I think it's amazing. But, well, the photo on the right-hand side is the Powder Life magazine. It's a free magazine that is the flagship publication of Niseko. And the quality of this free magazine is like a high-end brand magazine now. Well, in this way, Niseko has changed the traditional image of a Japanese ski resort and it's now known as a destination that offers world-class services and entertainment. Okay, if you remember me, I'm from Furano Resort, so now I am finally talking about the next holiday property investment destination town, Furano Resort. After Niseko becomes popular, everyone is wondering where is the next. After Furano and Furano is one of them among all the ski resorts in Japan. Let's see the basic information of Furano. Furano is located at the heart of the Hokkaido island in the middle, right there. Around 1 hour driving from Asahikawa Airport and 2 hours driving from Shinchitose Airport. Furano is a town with 20,000 local living, welcomes 2 million visitors annually, 500,000 visitors among 2 million visitors staying overnight in Furano. And among that 500,000 visitors staying, around 130,000 guests are from foreign countries. Okay, this sounds so familiar if you remember the basic information of Niseko areas that I told you just in a few minutes back. It really is similar numbers for both locations actually. This chart shows the trend in the number of foreign guests staying in Furano. You can see the great recovery after the COVID time. And also, this is the total number of overnight stays by foreigners in Furano. This also shows the great recovery of the results from COVID time, apparently, and jumped quite a lot from the previous COVID time. So where is the popular area of property investment in Furano Resort? Furano Ski Resort has average of 7 meters of snowfall amount in a season. There are 2 ski zones operated by Prince Hotel Group. The popular area of property investment is called Kitanomine, which is the main hotel area with the ski resort of Furano. The area has mix of accommodations, cafes, restaurants, ski hire, ski school, and also the local residential houses. Downtown Furano is around 2 to 3 kilometers away only from this area that is easy access with around 7 minutes driving. As Furano was getting popular among foreign investors, the price of the properties has been increased in Kitanomine area. So land price transition information in here in Kitanomine has been like this. The price has been increased from around the year 2016 in high demand from the foreign investors. The land price becomes more than 4 to 5 times in 4 years' time. Even after four times price increased, the land price was still around just 20 to 25% of the one in the center of Hirafu Niseko. So the investors considering some holiday property investment in Niseko area actually sees some good potential in the Furano resort as well, because Niseko was growing sort of in the same way before. After COVID, what happened is real estate transaction price in Furano continued to rise, twice higher than even twice higher than before COVID. Well, in terms of published land prices in Japan, Furano's residential area recorded the highest growth rate for 2 consecutive years in Japan. I think I have to tell you once more, Furano got the highest growth rate of land price increase in Japan for 2 consecutive years in these past 2 years, in 2024 and 2025. So Furano is a good potential for the property investment. We are blessed with 2 high seasons as powder snow ski resort and flower farms. I will explain just a bit more tips. Well, Furano is a popular holiday destination among domestic and foreign visitors come to Hokkaido. It was mainly income gain purpose investment because we have strong summer and winter seasons with all the travelers. Niseko-like development started by international developers since 2018 to 19. Some people think that Furano has better advantage than Niseko because of the summer season. So you see some condominium hotels over here. This building is a resort condominium hotel located at the foot of Furano's ski resort. It is called the Phoenix Furano, the first international level holiday condominium hotel in Furano, newly completed in 2020. They say that with only one computer graphic image on the right-hand side, 33 units of condominiums were sold, including properties worth over 200 million yen, which is around 1.3 million US dollars in this small town, with just 20,000 population. Some more developments have come to Furano from Niseko and also are coming to Furano in the next few years' time. Rakuten Stay is now building 17 holiday rental villas, and Furano's first international hotel brand, Westin Hotel by Marriott, is also scheduled to be built from next year, 2026. Okay, so what is the expected investment return then? Okay, I think these are the too much details, so I think I can pass these details to you, if someone is interested in with contacting me later. So let's keep a little bit of these details, but average cost here as well, it's blah 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 things, but around half of the income. Well, so in short, I will make it quick to say, like the average return is 4 to 5% if it goes well and your holiday house gets popular. And this is the NOI, net operating income, after deducting the operation cost. Okay, what's next? So the capital gain, I think. Good news is that the property price in Furano has been growing well for these past 10 years, and there still are quite big difference from the one in Niseko. Niseko's property price is still 3 to 4 times higher than Furano. Also, some big names like Rakuten, which is the Japanese biggest online shopping mall, like Amazon, and Westin Hotel by Marriott are coming up in Furano. So people see the potential of the property price growth. So in short, the capital gain is really highly possible. So simple way to say, but simple is always the best. So wrapping up to say about the investment return of Furano Resort is stable income gain, possible capital gain, and your own holiday place to stay at without paying expensive staying fee at some hotels for your own vacation. I think this would be the very good investment opportunities. So who are purchasing the properties in Furano? Uh, these are the countries investing in to Furano. So Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, Taiwan, Australia. Someone here may wonder, there's no China listed here. So most cases are people saying some Chinese people bought the house nearby is actually the one from Hong Kong, Singapore, or Taiwan, or possibly Chinese people living in those countries or US or even Japan with or without the nationalities of those countries. Now, okay, I think I have just a minute to introduce my own business a little bit. So my company is called All About Furano, and we provide all those services necessary for the property investors. And just a history, a little bit of my company. We start from the family hotel business, family-owned, hotel business in this small town ski resort back in 1973, and which changed to the shifted to the real estate industry in the 2014 from the time like we sell the main hotel to the foreign investors. And now, like, we have around 40 holiday houses under management, and we have, produced five vacation rental houses and, over 70 transactions with the, foreign investors in this town. And our office is located in the main ski resort area in Kitanomine, Furano. And we manage the holiday houses like this. As you see the photos, you can come out and stay with us. We have so that's just like a few portfolios we have done. So this house is owned by Thai investor, owned by up and running, great actually interior, decorated well by the local actually interior shops. And this one was completed in 2019. Again, the good design inside, and the people come and stay here comfortably. So let us hear if you have any inquiries of ski properties in Hokkaido or Furano. Contact us anytime. We always are in Furano. And also, if you're looking for properties in the other places in Japan, we have good news for you because we have the other services to provide you the real estate information in the other areas throughout Japan. As Mayumi explained, off-market properties are taken as sort of valuable somehow, like among Japanese, those house owners and sellers. So valuable properties in Japan are sort of like off market somehow, maybe unfortunately. We receive the information of off market properties through the certain, trustable agents and brokers throughout Japan. So come visit Realty Japan website, which is actually, the other website of us of market properties in the major cities and resorts are available. Okay, thank you very much for listening and contact us anytime. Thank you.
Thank you.